She barely responds to your messages. When you suggest meeting up, she's always busy. She talks to you like you're just another friend in her contacts list. The conversation has all the energy of a weather report. You've tried being nicer. You've tried being more available. And somehow, impossibly, she's less interested than before. You lie awake replaying every text, every interaction, wondering what you did wrong. Meanwhile, she's not thinking about you at all. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Everything you think you know about making her miss you is actually pushing her further away. The harder you try to prove your worth, the more you confirm her suspicion that you're not worth her romantic attention. And if you think the answer is trying even harder, you're about to understand why you've been losing this game from the very beginning. Let's start with why she's not missing you. Not even a little. And it's not what you think. You assume it's because you're not attractive enough, not successful enough, not interesting enough. But that's not it. The real reason is devastatingly simple. You've made yourself too available. Your attention has no cost. It's not rare. It's not exclusive. It's background noise in an already deafening world. In her mind, there's zero scarcity. You're always there, always responding, always eager, always waiting for her to notice you exist. And here's what most men don't understand about modern dating. She's drowning in male attention. Social media DMs flooding in daily. Compliments from strangers. Likes from dozens of profiles. Every single man is pushing himself into her awareness, competing for space in her mental real estate. And your efforts? They just blend into that endless stream of desperation. Her brain has to protect itself from that overwhelming flood of validation-seeking behavior. The way it does that is simple. It filters you out. She's not actively rejecting you. She's passively indifferent. Because you've given her absolutely no reason to notice the difference between you and every other guy orbiting her attention. Human beings are neurologically wired to notice contrast, not consistency. We ignore what's common. We dismiss what's abundant. We crave what's rare. And when your attention is infinitely available, it has zero psychological value. Which means if you actually want her to miss you, you don't give her more of yourself. You give her dramatically less. Because here's the paradox that drives attraction. The moment she genuinely feels your absence, she'll notice the void you leave behind. And that void, that unexpected emptiness, is when curiosity starts working in your favor instead of against you. So if giving her more makes her care less, what actually makes her start missing you? That's where the real strategy begins. And it starts with something most men find almost impossible to do. You have to disappear from her front row. Not in a petty, wounded way. Not with some dramatic announcement about blocking her or needing space. Just vanish from her everyday awareness. No more constant text checking in. No more likes on her Instagram posts. No more positioning yourself as her emotional backup plan whenever she's bored. Stop viewing her stories. Stop reacting to her pictures. Stop being the guy who's always there, always watching, always available. In the digital age, disappearing from her online world is often more noticeable than disappearing from her physical one. Why? Because this creates what psychologists call a pattern interrupt. Your name disappears from her notifications. The familiar background presence is suddenly gone, and human brains are hardwired to hate unfinished patterns. They seek completion. They notice absence. When something that was always there suddenly isn't, the mind fixates on it. Where did he go? Why isn't he watching anymore? Did something change? But here's the critical part where most men catastrophically fail. Your absence cannot look empty. This is the difference between strategy and sulking. Disappearing and then sitting at home refreshing her profile, stalking her stories from a fake account, waiting desperately for her to notice you're gone, that's not attractive. That's pathetic. And on some subconscious level, she'll sense it. You need to build a genuinely full, visible life, real friends, actual hobbies, gym progress, travel, new experiences, fresh energy radiating from everything you post. Because when she eventually checks your profile, and she will, she needs to see that your life is thriving without her. When she sees you've moved forward, completely unbothered by her indifference, two thoughts hit her consciousness almost simultaneously. First, wow, he's actually fine without me. He didn't fall apart, he didn't beg, he just moved on. Second, and this is the critical one, wait, who is he spending all that time with? That second thought is pure gold because it's the beginning of curiosity, and curiosity is the gateway to desire. She starts wondering who you're with, what you're doing, why you're suddenly so busy, why you're no longer available to her whenever she wants validation. Now you layer in social proof. Post genuine moments from your life that naturally include other people, especially women. Don't force it. Don't stage photos with random women just to manufacture jealousy. Authenticity always wins. But if you're out with friends and there happen to be attractive women in the frame, post it. If you're at an event and you're talking to someone, show it. Let her see that other people find you interesting, engaging, worth their time. Because humans are social creatures. We derive value from how others perceive someone. If she sees that other women enjoy your company, suddenly you become more valuable in her eyes. Here's something most guys completely miss: memory triggers, inside jokes, unique references, a specific song you introduced her to, a phrase only you use, a perspective only you brought into her life. When she encounters these triggers again, you pop back into her mind without you doing anything. That song comes on, and suddenly she's thinking about the night you played it for her. Someone uses that phrase, and she remembers you said it first. These anchors keep you present even in your absence. Add intellectual stimulation to the mix. When you were around, did you challenge her thinking? Did you introduce new ideas? Did you teach her something she didn't know? Because if all you offered was compliments and availability, there's nothing to miss. But if you expanded her mind, if you brought perspectives she couldn't get elsewhere, if you made her think differently about the world, then when you're gone, she's not just missing your attention. She's missing the way you made her think. And that's a much deeper form of attraction. When the time comes to re-emerge, and it will, you have to do it strategically, not 2 days later when your willpower breaks, not immediately when she sends that casual "hey stranger" text testing if you're still orbiting. Wait long enough for her to actually feel your absence. 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how often you used to communicate. Let the void sink in, let the curiosity build. Let her wonder if maybe she miscalculated your interest. When you do come back better than you left. More confident, more physically fit, more focused on your own goals. No explanation for where you've been. No apology for your absence. No desperate attempt to pick up where you left off. Just the energy of a man who's been genuinely living well, who has options, who doesn't need her validation to feel complete. That shift in energy, that transformation from the guy who chased to the guy who's simply living his best life. That's what turns indifference into intrigue. That's what makes her start missing you. But here's what you need to understand on a deeper level. This isn't really about making her miss you. That's just the surface goal. What this is actually about is becoming the kind of man nobody forgets. The kind of man who doesn't chase because he doesn't need to. The kind of man whose presence adds value and whose absence leaves a void. When you become that man, it doesn't matter if she misses you or not, because you're winning either way. I know this goes against every instinct you have. When you genuinely like someone, your natural impulse is to give more, to prove your value, to demonstrate how much you care. But in the context of attraction, especially with someone who's indifferent, that instinct is poison. It kills desire. It confirms her lack of interest. You have to step back, not because you're playing manipulative games, but because you're building a life so rich, so full, so magnetic, that her interest or lack thereof becomes irrelevant to your happiness. This is a shift that changes everything, from seeking her validation to creating your own value, from needing her to miss you to building a life worth missing. Because at the end of the day, attraction isn't about convincing someone of your worth. It's about becoming so undeniably valuable that your absence is felt like a void. And the only way to create that void is to first fill your own life so completely that when you step back, something real is actually missing. So here's your path forward. Disappear strategically. Build your life aggressively. Let social proof do the heavy lifting. Create memory anchors that keep you present in absence. And when you return, return as a man who's leveled up, not as a guy who's been waiting desperately for her to notice him. That's how you flip the script. That's how indifference transforms into interest. And that's how you stop being an option and become the one she can't stop thinking about.